All right, let's jump right in. I want to show you something that's a real breakthrough in food science. It's super simple, but it could change everything. We're talking about making healthier solid fats from something you've definitely got in your kitchen.
So think about this for a second. How would you take a bottle of, say, regular liquid oil and make it solid? Give it the same texture as butter or shortening, but, without all the unhealthy stuff.
Now you're probably thinking, okay, this has to involve some crazy, complicated chemical process, right? Well, that's the amazing part. The secret these scientists found is way more elegant and a lot more natural than you think.
And this is it. This is the result. This solid stuff you see here, it's called an oleogel, and it started out as plain old liquid oil. This simple trick has the potential to make some of the foods we love so much better for us.
But hang on, why do we even need to do this? What's the big deal with solid fats in the first place? Well, it all comes down to texture. That satisfying feel we get from everything from cookies to, meatballs.
So here's the catch. Those solid fats that give us that amazing texture, they're often loaded with saturated fats and sometimes even trans fats. And we all know that too much of that stuff can lead to serious issues like heart disease. So the big question for scientists has been, how do we get the texture we love without the health risks?
And that is where our hero comes in. There's a new kind of smart material that just might be the answer. So let's meet the oleogel.
So what exactly is an oleogel? Well, think of it like a microscopic sponge or a clever trap. It's a system that takes healthy liquid oils, the good stuff, and locks them into place inside a 3D network. So you get all the function of a solid fat, but you keep all the nutritional goodness of the liquid oil. It's the best of both worlds.
And the recipe to make this stuff? You won't believe how simple it is. Seriously. Step 1, you start with your healthy oil. Step 2, you mix in a natural powder called chitosan, which, get this, comes from the shells of shrimp and crabs. Super sustainable. But step 3, the final magic ingredient, is just a few drops of water.
That's right. That little tiny bit of water is where all the magic happens. It's the key that turns the whole thing from a liquid into a solid. All thanks to a cool bit of physics called capillary action.
Okay, look at this. This explains it perfectly. On the left, without water, you just have these little particles floating around in the oil, not really doing anything. But on the right, you add just a little bit of water and bam! These tiny capillary bridges form between them, pulling them all together into this strong, powerful network that traps all the oil.
And this is what it actually looks like up close, under a microscope. Those glowing yellow connections, those are the water bridges. They're literally acting like a super strong microscopic glue, linking everything together and turning the whole liquid mess into a stable, solid-like gel. It's incredible.
Now, of course, they didn't get this perfect on the first try. Oh no. It took a lot of experimenting to find that perfect formula, the exact right balance of oil, chitinolene, and water. First up, the oil. They tried a few different kinds. Olive oil didn't do so great. It lost about 27% of its liquid. MCT oil was a real rock star, but soybean oil was the big winner. It hit that sweet spot with only 13% oil loss, and it was much more cost-effective. And when I say they had some failures at first, I mean big failures. Check this out. One of their early attempts, using way too little of that chitinolene powder, lost almost half of its oil, 46%. The whole thing just fell apart.
But then, look at the difference. Once they dialed in that recipe, with just the right amount of chitin and water, they crushed that oil loss all the way down to just 13%. Now that's a stable gel. That's the difference between a puddle and a product.
Okay, so it works in the lab. That's cool. But the real question is, can you actually use it in food? Does it work in the kitchen? To find out, they put their new oleogel to the ultimate test. They used it to replace the pork fat in meatballs.
And the results were, wow, just fantastic. The meatballs made with this new oleogel were actually firmer and chewier, a genuine improvement in texture. And get this, when they cooked them, they barely shrank. The regular meatballs lost almost 9% of their weight, but the oleogel ones, less than 2%. And, of course, the most important part, way, way less saturated fat.
A healthier meatball is awesome, don't get me wrong. But this technology, this whole idea of capillary suspensions, is so much bigger than just that.
I mean, we are talking about a huge range of things here. The same basic idea could give us low-calorie chocolate spreads, printable inks for electronics and solar cells, 3D printed scaffolds to help grow human tissue, and even super strong, lightweight ceramics. It's wild. So, it all comes back to this, doesn't it?
Just by understanding the simple physics of a drop of water, we can create materials that are smarter, healthier, and more sustainable. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible breakthroughs are hiding right there in plain sight?